Hey, I'm doing my first map analysis today. That's right. My analysis this week, I did some offstage stuff before. I'm finally doing some onstage stuff. As you can see, I'm analyzing Houston Outlaws versus Seoul Dynasty. This is map 2, Horizon. This is point number 2. I just think the Seoul Dynasty had a fantastic defense on this map. 642 to get that second point, as you can see from the timer right now. And the Seoul Dynasty managed to hold it the entire time, I think, for three main reasons that I want you guys to be looking out for, and I'll point it out too. The first one is great ult value and great ult management. They are almost always the second team to use the ults. Houston's always engaging with ults, and they're always responding with an ult to make sure that Houston doesn't win the fight. The second thing is knowing the map super well and knowing Houston's strategy super well, to the point where they're able to counter Houston's next move, quite like the ult thing. Those are combined, really. They use ults in response to knowing what Houston's going to do, or they go places in response to what Houston's going to do. Seoul's 5-0 on this map after this win, and there's a reason for that. They know this map like the back of their hand at this point. And the third reason is knowing Houston's win conditions and eliminating all of them. That's going to come in a little bit later, but for this first push here, the main one is going to be knowing what Houston's about to do and then countering it with an ult. So Coolmat, I'm about to show you what Coolmat's about to do. These two are up here. It's Wakid and Miro. Junkrats on this stage love to go up there on the rafters. And Divas on offense on the stage love to knock them off the rafters. Wakid knows this. Wakid very much knows that Coolmat is about to come on up there. And let's see how Wakid responds to this. He pulls out the Riptire right when he sees Coolmat is going out there. Pulls out a trap also. So Coolmat wastes his Diva Bomb there. I think that's super cool that Wakid immediately knows what's going on there. A bunch of stuff's going to happen here. Another thing you should have taken notice of is that Bonnie and Toby both have their ults out, but Bonnie popped his right when Coolmat went up there. Bonnie popped his. So he popped his super early. They've both gotten one res out of it, and the teams are currently even. As far as the fight goes, the two tanks are going to dive in and get absolutely decimated by Ryu Jaehong's amazing Zenyatta, but Bonnie's ult is already gone. He only got one res off of that. That's not good. Toby's is still going on. So Toby not only gets more value out of his Valkyrie for popping it second, because we all know the team who pops their Valkyrie second has more value, but also because he gets two reses off of his, whereas Bonnie doesn't. So the reason Seoul Dynasty win this fight, and unfortunately the reason of most fights, is popping their Valk second and getting more value off of theirs. Alright, now we've skipped ahead a minute. The last fight was won by Fleda's amazing Widowmaker skills. There's not too much analysis needed. There's going to be something important that happens in this fight, and I want you to pay attention to Seoul's response to it. Seoul has the ult advantage here with 4 ults. Houston Outlaws are only pretty much going to have the Diva Bomb, and they're going to have Bonnie's Valkyrie in a second. Valkyrie can win a fight on its own pretty much, but Toby is getting pretty close to his too. But something's going to happen that can easily help Houston win this fight. And that is Clockwork picks Toby. So Clockwork picks Toby. If you're the Houston Outlaws, this is what you want to do. Get on to the point. Make sure you start killing these other members of the Seoul Dynasty before Toby respawns. That is what you want to do if you're the Houston Outlaws. However, in response to this, usually teams like the Seoul Dynasty, in response to this, to their Mercy dying, will back off. Seoul does the exact opposite. They become more aggressive. Let me take a look. So Jake falls there. That's huge. And I'm pretty sure he fell because he was avoiding this. Wakid popped his Riptire right when Toby died, pretty much. In response to Toby dying, Wakid pops his Riptire to make sure that these members of Houston back here are all going this way and not this way. Because if Houston starts going this way, they are going to end up winning this fight. That's what Houston wants to do, is go on to the point and make sure they win. But this Riptire is forcing him to go this way. Especially Jake, who ends up going this way, which is an even worse idea. Unless the rest of his team decided, like, they're all as a team gonna have to go some way, and Jake decided to go this way by himself. And you're about to see in a second that it really was not a good idea. Miro has also jumped on here to push Houston back as well. And you're about to see in a second as Jake is gonna die to Zumba down there. And this is gonna force Bonnie to now use his ult again. Bonnie is once again forced, his hand is forced, and he has to use ult first. There's going to be a bunch of other ults coming out here. In response to the Diva Bomb, Ryu Jae-hong uses his ult. I'm not sure if it was because he was in a bad position or what, but he's going to use his ult so that Fletic can just win this 1v1 versus Jake, which is hilarious. Bonnie comes in to res him again. Both of his reses are used, and then Fletic kills him again. There are just too many deaths on the side of Houston here for them to win this fight, so they end up backing out. And Bonnie's ult just doesn't get enough value in it. But that was just an extremely impressive display of Seoul to use Wakid's ult to counter a disadvantage that they had in the fight, which was they were missing their Mercy. Being super aggressive instead of super passive when your Mercy dies is an interesting strategy that ends up working out super well for Seoul in this situation. Alright, so this is the situation where I'm going to talk about Houston's win conditions. Their fight win conditions here are very interesting. Usually Houston's win conditions include Linkser. Linkser is such a good DPS that he is a win condition in himself. He can use the Widow, he can use the Tracer to individually pick off enough players on the other team to where Houston can win a fight. But without Linkser on their team, Clockwork is still sort of a win condition, and they want him to be because they have him on Widowmaker. But he is just... Seoul has mathematically eliminated Clockwork as a win condition and isn't really being aggressive towards him. So right now, if you see this ult, this is usually a win condition for Houston, is a Riptire getting 2 or 3. And Seoul knows this. They're going to completely counter it here. So Jake makes the huge mistake of showing them where he is. Ooh, look at this diva. Ooh, this diva's like, oh, I just saw Junkrat. He's in there. They know he has a Riptire. Jake's gonna stand here for a second because he realized maybe I shouldn't have revealed my positioning. But he pops it anyways, and Zumba is right there to destroy his Riptire right away and kill him as well. Just overwhelmingly the scoreboard in favor, the kill feed in favor of Houston right there. And it's because Seoul knows one of those win conditions is that Riptire. Usually another one of Houston's win conditions is Muma on Winston and their dive, their ability to kill the supports of the other team, but Muma is not on Winston. Of course, I just talked about how Clockwork couldn't get picks and he got 2, but he got him at the worst time possible. They got him when they already pretty much lost the fight. So Clockwork ends up dying there, and this is going to be the last fight that I want to point out a really cool thing. Houston's going to end up winning this or losing this simply because Muma is out of position on a Diva Bomb, or he thinks he can survive a Diva Bomb when he cannot. You're about to see it. Zuma just popped it. Yeah, he thought this railing was going to be enough. It wasn't. So he died right there, and right when Bonnie gets his ult, that was terrible drawing. Right when Bonnie gets his ult, he's going to have to pop it right away so he can get Muma down. And Raucous, this is what I'm talking about with ult value. Raucous tries his hardest to save Cool Matt here by popping Trans. Cool Matt's gonna die anyway and have to use his Diva Bomb. So overall, just terrible ult usage to start off this fight. You'll see Bonnie right when he gets ult pops it. I want to point out now, this is the coolest part of the play, is over here with Wakid. Wakid just killed Jake. The white blur is Jake. He's dead now. And Wakid just killed Jake. He knows Bonnie just popped ult, and Wakid is about to get ult. So Wakid's going to charge his ult up fully real quick on Cool Matt. And he knows Bonnie is going to come over to get that dead body he just created. He gets ult, pops it, and he says, oh, look at these three. Very juicy Riptire targets. A Valking Mercy, a rezzed person who can't do anything, and a Cool Matt who's too far away to do anything to my Riptire. Pops it. D-Mex blows up Jake. That's pretty much the winning play right there. You have no more damage left for this team. Overall, Seoul just played a way better defense. They were always ulting in response to another ult. Houston Outlaws were always the team initiating with their ults, and that is just where Houston messed up big time, and it's where Seoul capitalized big time. This is one of the best teams at ult usage, ult value, and responding to things the other team is doing with ultimate abilities. Just fantastic defense from Seoul, and it's one of the reasons why they are undefeated on Horizon Lunar Colony. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is probably my favorite type of video to do, map analysis, even though this is the first time I've done it. I've really enjoyed VOD, reviewing the VOD, and just looking at why Seoul wins fights and why these teams win fights. So expect more of these in the future. Tomorrow I will give you my games to watch preview of next week. So subscribe for more action. Thank you guys for watching.